Hey there, you're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and this is Pathfinder Kingmaker, the Enhanced Edition. And we have picked up a new party member, Ikandayo and his companion Amo. And Bracken and Amo enjoy each other's company very much. So we may add him to the party and have our two frontliners be these two amazing wolves, both with acid maw. Ooh, so cool. Today is, in Pathfinder, in the world of Galarian, is Oath Day. It's the 29th of Aristus, which is July in our calendar, in the year 4710, and it is 8 p.m. as the party goes searching for a troll, which unfortunately killed everyone in Ikandayo's village. So he put down the tools of his trade as a carpenter and picked up the tools of a ranger, the bow and arrow. And he is quite good. He is fitting in nicely with the party, and so we are going to continue to search this area as well. We're also here at the behest of Harim, who wanted to find an ancient dwarven stronghold. We have found those ruins. Ikandayo saw them himself and marked them on our map. He told us the wounded ranger, Ikandayo, has this scary, almost dead expression, as if he is a ghost who only remains in this world to settle a score. He told us he's been looking for Kargad and some other trolls who destroyed his village and devoured his family. Could those beasts be the very same ones we chase? Having a ranger in our party will make it easier to track those vile monsters down and smash their ugly heads, writes Lindsay in her journal. So we are going to start searching for the troll lair, and we are continuing on with Troll Trouble, Renowned Explorer, and also Unwanted Legacy, the companion quest of Harim. The party comes again to the old road that the Dwarven Watchtower was looking over, and we continue down it. There's trouble on the road ahead, for a merchant lies dead, which leads the party to believe that that there are bandits in hiding nearby. And with that, the party stops.
To victory!
And they got us. They ambushed us. They were hiding, and we walked right into it. But they will be very, very sorry about the day that they did that. For Amu is going to charge. Her mouth open as she runs to protect the flank of Ikandayo. And I didn't know that she has a combat maneuver trip. I didn't know that. That is a game changer. I didn't know wolves have that. We are absolutely keeping Ikandayo and Amu forever and ever. Amen. That is amazing. There's going to end up, at the end of this, we're going to have 3 creatures, 2 of them true creatures, and Zara shapeshifted, and we're going to be running around tripping everything. So I am really, really, really psyched about that. That is awesome. So Bracken is going to turn here and take this bandit on right here. And critical hit, and he is dead. That guy is very sorry for the day that he was born, and even more sorry for the day that he died, because Bracken is not playing. Lindsay, let's do this. Give ourselves that much needed help, and then Valerie is going to go in here, and she's going to head straight for these guys right here and draw their fire. And then Harim, why don't you back up Valerie? Haha, that's backing up all right. Yeah, that's doing it. I'm super not impressed. Jubilost. Let's douse him with some fire, shall we? This guy should be dead. Why is he not dead? I don't know. He must have like 1 hit point left. Zara, can you finish him off?
We can do it!
No. All right, you guys. So that's Zara's turn, and we have 3 more bandits who stand before our party. Those bandits are probably rethinking their career choices right now. Woo! That was awesome. And also, you will notice here that it is Potema's turn, but it still says Amu here, and that is because we just decided that Amu was not working for me. So we decided to name her Wolf Queen, and the name of the Wolf Queen in Skyrim is Potema. And so we'll be calling her Tema for short. And her name here will change the next time we switch maps. In the meantime, it is Potema's turn. Tema's turn, and she's going to... Let's see if we can get another trip in here. Oh, that's too bad. She did not, and she got a miss. But that leaves Bracken, and Bracken is going to come charge this bandit here, and let's see if we can get that. Ha-ha! And, oh, there was another bandit right here. I didn't even see that bandit. Bracken did, but I didn't. Wow, that's cool. I didn't even see that. I didn't know there was another bandit right there. Okay, and this guy is really wanting to run, but knows that he'll be cut down as he does, so he decides to die fighting and blubbering and crying. And that is Bracken's turn. Lindsay, let's see what you can do here.
You deserve it.
Whoa! Did you see that crit? What the heck, man? Whoa! That is what you call an awesome party. We can open this. Let's see if Lindsay can open that.
It's not my lucky day.
Ow. That is what we call in my family, we call that universal smackdown. So the minute that you get yourself all made up and get yourself all pretty and put some pearls on and get your nice dress on and get your heels on and you're all like, I look really good today. I'm too fine. I am all that and a bag of chips is when you will trip and fall on your face in a mud pile. Let's head over here. And is there anything... Ah, right here. Once sturdy walls become decrepit and crumbled. Harim says sadly, oh, what the dwarven ruins have come to, and how mighty they must have been. The remains of a cobbled road are barely visible. The traitor god, says Harim. Torag priests used to set hiding places in statues like that. Look closer if you wish, he says in a sad and slow voice, a depressed voice. You might find something. Zara walks up to the statue. Lindsay says, there's something here. And Zara says, let me take a look. Unlike the time-worn watchtower, the statue of Torag is in perfect condition. The dwarven god's face has a stern look, almost accusatory when combined with the surrounding devastation. Harim gives the statue a long look, then spits on the ground without saying a word. Okay, he and Torag have really been on their outs. Ikon bows his head and whispers a short prayer before the statue. So Ikandayo worships the dwarven god, which is interesting. Now we can have a perception 20 and examine the statue. Let's see what we get. Oh, Zara's intuition tells her that this statue may be hiding something of value. After several hours of searching, she discovers a hidden panel with a niche above it. In the niche, a set of jagged grooves adorned with the arcane symbols seem to be connected to something deeper inside the statue. It seems that access to Torag's treasures will require the missing cogs. The stone panel and mechanism keeping it shut are both sturdy and effective. Neither lockpicking skills nor brute force, enhanced with cursing, are capable of opening it. It looks like you won't get this hidden treasure without a proper key. So we failed the perception check, so we may have gotten some skill points, but they still allow us to get whatever's in here later on. Over here, though, is a locked box with a note, a worn parchment. On the worn ancient parchment, there are words written by a feeble hand, discolored with age and barely visible. Every morning, I wake up as a 20-year-old boy. It's the best morning of my life, for today is the first time I take over the post at the watchtower over the Great Shield Road. That's the name of the road, the ancient road that we have been traveling in this episode. Every morning, I open my eyes and see the tower in ruins. Horrified, I grope my gray beard with my gnarled fingers and slowly realize there is no shield road anymore. And it's been this way for more years than I can count. I must be older now than the decrepit Goggin was when he died and left me alone. Unforgiving time has eroded both the stones of the tower and my flesh and mind. Zara turns to the party and says, "This note is written by someone who is either very ancient or undead." And then she continues reading. "The holy statue of Torag is the only thing time itself dares not to touch. I do remember that it's my duty," she reads, "to guard something hidden inside the statue, but I don't remember what exactly I am guarding. The key I wear hanging on my neck, the Langabuk's golden cog," and Jubilo says, "That's what we need," "is as heavy as an anvil. Where is Wardash's white cog? I don't remember. What happened to Skeg's red cog when its keeper Goggin died? I don't know. There are 3 cogs we will need to find. I wonder if this undead creature is still inside," she wonders as she looks over the party's shoulder and down the hill. "Every morning I go around the neighborhood looking for people. I haven't seen any for years, neither traders nor bandits. Sometimes my mind tricks me and I recall speaking to a hunter or a scout just yesterday, but these memories are too vague to be true. I guess my feeble mind just entertains itself with illusions. I've been hoping for too long to see a day when dwarves return and restore the road. Now I seriously doubt there is anyone of my kin left in this world, or anyone alive at all. Maybe some unimaginable plague has razed away every single living soul in the whole of Galarian except for me. If someday someone returns to these parts and manages to read this, remember our names." And Zara says in a reverent voice, "Harem or Ikan, do you wish to read this?" Harem says, "I want nothing to do with it. Even though I was or am a dwarf, this was found next to Torag's statue, and I want nothing to do with it." Ikan says, "I will read it." He takes the paper from Zara and says, in a deep and resonant voice that rumbles and tumbles throughout the trees surrounding the party. He says, "Waradash, Gedje, Langabuk. This tower was built by the dwarves of these clans in 4241. It was abandoned in 4499. We, the last shields, were left behind to keep our eternal watch for the glory of Torag and the dwarven people. Our names are Goggin Skedje and Walk Langerbrook. It is our free choice, and we have no regrets. Remember us. Ikandayo folds the paper up, slides it inside his cloak, and the party confer. I suppose we need to find these people and give them their eternal rest, says Valerie. It is the right thing to do. Someone lived here long ago, says Ikandayo. So there's nothing in the watchtower, it's just crumbling. But is there a, there's a chest up here. Ooh. Once, long ago, a sturdy watchtower rose above the forest, ready to signal an enemy's approach, day or night. Now the ancient moss-covered stones were crumbling, and birds, rather than warriors, inhabited the place. The ground floor had long been looted, but there still seemed to be some furniture left on what remained of the upper floor. A rotted table, an uneven chair, and a small but seemingly robust chest. Sadly, the stairs leading up had collapsed long ago. Harim walked around the tower slowly, running his fingers along the cracks in the stone. I like places like this. Peaceful, quiet. Here one is bound to consider that which awaits us all, sooner or later. Yes. Taking a seat, he loses himself in the admiration of the ruins. Jubilos kicks a mossy stone. If I had a tube of necessary ingredients, we wouldn't need to climb anywhere. I'd make the upper level come to us itself. Ikun inspected the upper floor. Possible to climb, but risky. Stones might collapse. We could use a rope to pull it down. So I'm going to go for athletics. We tried climbing up. We're going to choose Ikandayo for this one. Because he is obviously the best person for this task. Ikandayo deftly climbed the stones, even as they crumbled beneath his feet. On the next floor, he found what must have been a living room centuries ago. There were even the remnants of a decomposed floor mat. The chest was heavy, but it didn't take Ikandayo much effort to push it to the ledge and drop it down. The chest fell to the stone floor with a loud thud, and a huge cloud of dust rising around it. The wood had darkened after years of exposure to the sun and the rain. The metal siding had grown a layer of rust, and the decorative carvings on the lid were barely discernible. Even so, the chest itself was as robust and secure as the day it was made by some unknown dwarven master. And of course, it was still locked. So, let's first search for a key on this one. Ha! Our second perception check failed. So let's try having Lindsay see if she can pick the lock, even though she did fail a trap check earlier. We'll choose Lindsay for that. Ha! All right, so now we have no other choice but to break into the chest, and we do not have a strong character for that. Oh, no, Ikandayo can do it. Or Harim. We'll definitely take Ikandayo, whoever has the highest choice, of course. Zara has 15 strength. Ooh, my. But let's try this. Oh, man. We failed all 4 of these checks. All 3 of these checks. Oh, my goodness. What did the dwarves make that chest out of? Stone? Solid steel? Dragon bone? Ekondio hit the lid over and over, even trying to pry it open and knocking out the hinges. It took a long time before the chest finally gave in. Inside, we found the simple possessions of a dwarven warrior, who must have once been stationed in this tower. Battle gear consisting of chainmail, a helmet, a shield, and an axe. A pair of torn traveling boots, and a metal tankard the size of a small bucket. A pipe and a full pouch of tobacco, which had petrified over the years. And lastly, a peculiar little thing. A complex, red metal cog. So though we were unable to do it, we kind of just beat it to death and got the, so we now have 1 cog. So we have 1 more item to find. The party notices a group of 3 hunters talking and standing below a tree. The tree, well, actually I don't want to do that. Let me do this. We'll just walk up here and have Valerie talk and see what is the problem. It's a huge, centuries-old oak. It is a real colossus, which observes from above the ages passing by. So a gigantic tree here. And Edgar, Calvert, and Alick are here. What the party sees is 3 peasants circling an ancient oak as they talk loudly among themselves. I found it! Where? Where? Show us. What? Where? Nay, it wasn't nothing. Just thought I did. Don't stump. The man hits the trunk of the tree with his fist, then winces and massages his hand. Alex says, I will put your backs into it. I can smell the gold, I can. Valerie says, if I may ask, who are you? What is happening here? The men jump up and down and press their backs to the oak's massive trunk. They never take their eyes off of the party, Valerie in particular, as they lean toward each other, whispering. You barely catch the words Baroness and treasure. Valerie catches these words. They turn to Valerie and say, we're from the village nearby. Yeah. And then, noticing that Valerie has the bearing of a noble, he adds on quickly, Milady, milady. The bravest of them answers, and others nod along. We want to cut this here tree, see? Zara looks at the magnificent oak, who would have been but a sapling when the great road was first built. She does not like the idea of cutting down such a beautiful tree, and she does not know if a dryad dwells within. Winter's not far off, you know. Gonna need some wood, the second man adds, and with this much we could build a boat, too. Ah, cut it out. She heard us. The third one mutters, a quiver in his voice. So much for our gold. Zara says, I will say that you are not yet in any trouble. But please, tell me everything. Why this tree? This ancient oak that has been here for so long? And you know not whether it carries a dryad within. The villager glances at his sullen companions. Well, we were searching for gold here, milady. A traveling bard spent the night in our village, and he told us tales about big fights and and barbarians and the chieftains who led the hordes here long ago. They were grand tales. But in the end, says Edgar, he said he knew where the barbarian chieftains buried and promised he could show us. We paid him 2 gold. He wanted 3, but we could only gather 2, says Calvert. He told us anyway, though. Jubilo says, under his breath, that bard was too generous. If it was me, I would have thrown them in the debt pen, but I would have managed 10 gold at least. Jubilos turns his gaze to Zara. Wait! Don't tell me you believe this wash about a hidden treasure. So, I think Zara, before she wants to look at their customs, she says, the 3 of you are here, and seemingly unarmed. It is very dangerous in these lands nowadays. If you haven't noticed or heard tale of it, there are trolls everywhere. Why are you wandering about these lands? It can be dangerous. Oh, Edgar says, we've lived here all our lives, m'lady. Got nothing to be scared of. If we meet a kobold, we hit him hard, says Calvert. If we meet a wolf, we climb a tree. And if a troll comes around, we run as fast as we can. Alex says, as for bandits, we're not afraid of them. They don't cross us because we don't have 2 coins to scrape together. Well, the 2 coins that you did have, says Zara, you gave away to a traveling tale teller. So I can see your point. Let's do a knowledge world check. Zara turns to Jubilos and says, you are a scholar. These are barbarians, treasure that they talk about, these villagers. And so if you remember their customs correctly, could you enlighten me? Jubilos says, oh, could I enlighten you? Could I enlighten you? Could I enlighten you? Well, how much time do you have? Zara says, about a minute. Jubilo says, well. As you recall, there were barbarian tribes that rode across these lands long ago. Moreover, they buried their chieftains in cans with all of their earthly possessions. Rock cans, he says. I've never heard of a barbarian being buried under a tree. However, I will tell you that I have, Jubilos Northropple, had the opportunity to see a few of these cans in my studies far and wide. And Lindsay goes, ooh, do tell. And Jubilos says, well, I will, around the campfire. And then he says, all the known khans, though, are far to the east, he points, or the northwest. I have heard no tales of barbarians being in these lands. And then he looks pointedly at the 3 villagers. The villagers turn to Zara, looking for some hope in her, knowing that she is their baroness. She must have like a sign on her forehead that says Baroness. I understand it's a game mechanic, but sometimes she wants to hide it, and it's a little hard to play that. She says, my companion is a knowledgeable scholar, she says. It is the truth that this bard has... Well, he told you a tale that is false. And he took your money, and I am very sorry about that. Lied? He lied? How? Why? Oh, because we paid too little and he held a grudge. I told you, don't be greedy, I said. Get your stash out of your boot. And what did you do? The villager, Alec, gestures frantically. I know which way he's left. It's only been half a day. We could still catch him, says Calvert, looking eagerly down at the great road. We'll get on our knees before him, empty our pockets if need be. He'll forgive us, and then he'll tell us where the treasure really is. Let's go, come on. Before the villagers run off, Zara says, but there is no treasure. I told you the barbarians are far east. But it is to no avail. Valerie shakes her head, sad, and knows that the villagers aren't necessarily gullible. Well, they are. But
As you
also they're also hungry, and they want hope. And that's really what the problem is. They just want hope. But
Quiet,
Jubilos
I'm thinking.
and Lindsay can't help but to sneak over to the tree and just check and
I
see.
wrote it like I saw it.
Lindsay's gonna do a wand of fun traps here. And
Just letting the ink dry.
she looks around the tree, just
And
wondering if
so they
anything might have
walked
shown
on.
up. Any little perception checks here, anything like that. And it looks like, no, the tree is nothing more than a beautiful ancient tree.
Who will prevail?
Oh,
Does it
man. Jumped again. Jumped again. I am just off of my game. And Jubilos, who's, well, at least he can throw up here. Bracken. So let's see what we have here. We have a transmuter, a mage user. So Bracken is going to go for that mage user. And that trip renders him no longer a threat. That's Bracken's turn. Fatima is going to head for... Let's have her head for the front door here. Wow, I love the trips. I love those trips. And Zara?
Forwards!
Zara misses so much, I'll tell you. An attack of opportunity. Valor, so she cannot, she's been slowed. So she can't really move, unfortunately, too far. Harem also.
What a
Harem
waste.
has not been slowed. And this bandit tried to stand up, attack of opportunity, and that's all she wrote. Oh, I just skipped Bracken's turn. Shoot. Fatima. Let's go here. Jubilost, why don't you try to take this
Primitives.
transmuter down? Yes, perfect. Transmuter no longer a problem. And attack of opportunity finishes that bandit off. The party notices that there are two people, Lineal and Rook, who stand above the party. A pair of legs sticks out from the boulder's surface. Uh-oh. Or maybe it means this guy's legs? I'm not sure. Zara says, "Ho there! Who are you? What is your business?" A voice replies, "You there! Help us!" A man wearing simple clothes waves to Zara from the top of the massive rock. "Hunters we are!" he calls down. "We were camping in the woods, and then suddenly we were up here. Some weird magics or something, I guess. For God's sake, help us!" "How many of you are there? Is anyone wounded?" "We're just two. I am mostly good, thank Arisdale. Leno here, though. She came down pretty hard. She's got some broken ribs, can hardly breathe. And as for Dulden, I think he's dead. I can only see his feet sticking out of the rock. Some dwarf corpse up here, too. I guess he got here the same way we did." Jupilo says, "What kind of magics do you think it was? How did you get up there?" Rook replies, "No clue. We were headed off to sleep when a dream came over us. A bright one, too. All three of us were in a river, and the current was sweeping us away. The trees on the shore were too high, up to the sky, I tell you, and the clouds above were like mountains. We went over a waterfall and hurtled down, and the next I knew we were up on this rock, wet like drowned rats. I've never seen anything like it. I hope I never have to again. Jubilos says, "What?" I can't believe it. What? For the sake of Desna, he says. This sounds... I can barely think to say it, but... No, that can't be true. He must have drunken too much and seen a bad dream. Valerie says, hold on, we will help. You're going to be all right. We will throw a rope, tie it around the rock there, and then we'll leave it there for anyone else who finds themselves unfortunately put in such a place. The rope is thrown up. The hunter fixes it to the rock and then slowly lowers his wounded friend before climbing down himself. Oh, excellent. And we did lose the rope. That's awesome. Wonderful. So, let us continue. The hunter hands Valerie a gilded metal cog. Oh, here. As a reward for your efforts, I found it on the corpse up there. It looks valuable. Oh, so we now have the gold cog and the red cog. Digging through his pockets, the hunter pulls out a small purse. Take this too. Lionel and me owe you our lives after all. And unfortunately, yeah. That's very strange magic. Magic that teleports you. I wonder what Jubilos knows about it. Thank you, says Lionel. Rook will help me to my home. Everything will be fine now. The hunters sit and rest, and the party gives them some of their rations and fresh water from their flasks, their water skins, not flasks.
It is done.
So that is very, very strange magic there. And they were camping here. And the party also needs a rest. So, I think I saw a note there. It looks here like this letter. Zara reveals that this letter is to the entire, she reads to the entire party. And it's Bandit's letter to his sister. And it speaks about how they caught a dwarf. And he says his ancestors, Fortosh, the ones who built the ancient tower, had hidden some real treasure inside. He said that there was a white metal cog. And when the fellows heard about the treasure, they literally started rubbing their hands together. So he stole the key, the cog, and made it look like the dwarf had run away with it. The fellows have been running across the woods since then, this bandit says to his sister. So he has the cog, and so I believe that we now have, with the white cog from this bandit, we now have all three parts of what we need to open the lock. And unfortunately, Bergen, this bandit, is no more. But That is not our problem. The party is quite tired, it being nearly 5 in the morning, and they have not yet had chance to camp. But they're so anxious about what ancient treasure that could be in here. Even Harim looks curiously at the statue of Torag, though he has forsaken that god. We have all 3 such cogs, but we're not sure how to fit them into the mechanism. Maybe the arcane markings are a clue. What's the problem? Harim grumbles as he snatches the cogs from you and places them inside the mechanism. This one goes here and that one there. Can't you see? Oh. Leave it to us. The dwarves know. You rotate the cogs and hear a rumbling noise from the statue, followed by a loud click. The panel opens, revealing the treasure stored within. And the neat thing about this game is that you'll get different things that happen depending on the characters that you have with you. If you did not have a Rim with you, that would not happen. Some other way we would be able to figure it out. Maybe a puzzle or something like that. All right, let's see what that gives us. Anything? Did something happen?
Check that out.
I see. I was like, what's gonna happen? That gives us a full plate, 700 gold coins, a belt with, I think that might be a 2 attribute belt, and onion soup recipe, because that's how dwarves stayed warm if, guarding this road was boring. Best onion soup ever. Like, it is so good that they hid it away for thousands of centuries. Maybe not centuries, years. Thousands of years. It was like the best onion soup ever. And the party yanks it up. So we have completed this, and I think this might be a good place to camp, just right over here in this little glade, right under the large tree. Let's do it there. And rest our party. There we go. And replenish our spells. Let's do onion soup for dinner. And I feel like Harim would come over and kind of give pointers to Lindsay about the onion soup. And he would say, now, my mother, a good woman. Yes, a good woman. And he would sit back and tell her, add more secrets, add more parsley, add more herbs, that kind of stuff, But the party will enjoy some onion soup.
It's strange that you held on to your love of storytelling after you were expelled from the academy.
It's not strange at all. I write for myself and for other people, and not for those bloated toads at the academy. People like my stories, and I couldn't ask for more.
I was really happy when I saw how they implemented camping, and that it's worth it to camp from a gameplay perspective, obviously, but it's worth it to camp because you hear new content. It's really nice. It adds a nice little storytelling touch. So we have a couple of more interesting things to do. This is part of a Mary's questline, the Honeg Lair, which we'll be doing at a later time. But let's look and see what has opened up on our map now. It looks like here at the Kobold Trail, a remote place known for numerous kobold trails. There is a chance that the trolls have decided to use this scaly little creature's path as trails leading to a troll lair that has been found in the hills in the hood. There's also dwarven ruins down here, which we will be doing, keeping Harim with us while we do that, and the troll clearing. So for now, our party will be a party of 7. And then afterwards, Valerie will leave our party, and Harim will leave our party. That will leave us with Ikandayo and Tema for our companions. But we're going to leave the episode here. Having cleaned out the ruined watchtower, we will be heading further south in the next episode to follow the trail of the trolls until we find their boss. And we bring him down and help Ikandayo avenge his village. But for now, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the thumbs up button below. And if you loved it, join the party and subscribe. I'll see you back here for more content, as always. For those of you guys watching me live, hang out with me. But for those of you guys watching me on YouTube, thank you, as always, for watching.